I am strong. I am fearless. I am courageous. I am beautiful. I can do all things. I am created to be me. I am a woman. And I am funky.
Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh, look at that pretty girl. Oh my goodness. You need your nails done. Go to the spa and a mani and get a mani and a pedi. Get a mani and a pedi. Oh, I love it.
Life is all about special moments, joy, uplifting our youth, keeping active, and having conversations with our friends, even lusting over our shoes, and dancing when no one is watching. Hi everyone, welcome to Sheila E TV. I'm Sheila E. Today my guest is Dr. Angela Davis. She's an American political activist, a philosopher, professor, and even an author with over 10 books. She even studied a little French in West Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful sister, Miss Angela Davis.
Hey, how you doing, Sheila?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm just zoomed out.
I'm sure you are. Well, you look incredible. Look how pretty.
That's not from the waist down. It's only from the waist up.
We never know what's on the bottom on these Zoom calls.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. So I don't even know if you remember, and if this was the first time we met. I think it was 1978. I was 21 years old, and I had a party at the Leamington Hotel. It was my 21st birthday. It was me, you, Ron Dellums at the time, because I think I have the picture.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, Ron, yeah.
And I was so happy because it was like the party to come to. And this was before I was Sheila E. It was Sheila Escovedo.
Right. No, I remember Sheila Escovedo.
Yeah. So I don't even know if that was I guess maybe that was the first time we met. I'm not sure. For me, it was a big deal because like Angela Davis is here at my party. Hello. And I actually had a fro back then, so we kind of looked like sisters.
Right. I do remember that. remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember coming to, a lot of the concerts that your dad did when you were always there. Yeah.
Yeah. A long history. I don't know. There's just great memories of being in Oakland. So you were born in Alabama. What brought you to Oakland? How did that happen?
Well, I was born in Birmingham, Alabama. I went to high school for my last 2 years of high school in New York. Then I went from high school to Boston, where I went to college. And then
Beautiful.
From there to France, and then Germany. And then from Germany to San Diego.
Wow.
San Diego to LA. And I landed in Oakland after all of that.
After all those years, I mean, why did you end up from going one place to another? Were you searching? You were, was it a movement? What was happening?
Yeah, I think it was a quest that I wasn't so much aware of at the time. But when I look back, it occurs to me that I really wanted to leave Alabama because of the racism, because of the restrictions, the limitations. And so when the opportunity to finish high school in New York came up, I immediately grabbed that. It was an interesting situation because it was a program organized by the American Friends Service Committee. And I lived with this progressive white family in Brooklyn and attended a private school in Greenwich Village.
Oh, wow.
It was really wonderful. But also, I thought that I would find a world free of racism in New York.
Sure. Yeah.
And of course, we didn't have the language to, talk about structural racism and all of those issues. So I was very confused. It was like, I'm supposed to be in the land of freedom, but I still see racism.
Right.
And so that may also explain why I decided to go to France, because I had studied French literature and was very much taken with the emphasis on freedom, on liberté, égalité, fraternité, and I had wanted to go to France for a long time. So the summer after my first year in college, I went to France. Again, assuming that I was going to find this place that was free of racism.
Wow.
I met some women from Martinique who told me, this was 1961.
Wow.
Who told me I had to be really careful because people might mistake me for Algerian, that the police might mistake me for Algerian.
Wow.
And the Algerian Revolution was going on then. There were a lot of police attacks on Algerians in Paris. And that made me want to find out what was happening in the Algerian Revolution. So I went to demonstrations in support of the Algerian Revolution. I started to read literature. So what I said later was that I went to France in search of freedom, in search of an end to racism, which I didn't find, but I found the Algerian Revolution and I found internationalism.
Wow, what a story. That is beautiful. So back then, do you feel like the movement back then was different than it is now? Because it seems to be evolving in a sense.
Yeah, it was. It was very different. I mean, I had the opportunity to get involved in movements when I was very young. As a matter of fact, in Birmingham, when I was 11 years old, I joined an interracial discussion group at my church.
Wow.
And as a result of that, the church was attacked by the Ku Klux Klan. And it was burned. Part of the church was burned. So I always tell people that who know about the girls who were killed at the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing, that bombings and burnings happen all the time, churches and houses. So
wow.
I was associated with the movement from the time I was very young. My mother had been an activist as well, so I guess I was following in her footsteps.
Wow.
But the movement was very different then. It was in the process of developing the capacity to challenge segregation in the South. So most of the attention was focused on segregation, not so much on broader issues of racism. And I know that when I went to high school in New York, I was actually really upset because the minute I left, that's when things broke loose. And I can remember, I went to New York in 1959, and I can remember in 1960 when the Freedom Rides started to happen.
Right.
I can remember calling my mother and father and saying, I want to come home. I want to be a part of this.
Wow.
But I didn't get to go home. But what I did do was to participate in demonstrations outside the Woolworths in New York, right across from the 42nd Street Library.
Right,
and I did that for many, many months. Every Saturday we went and picketed Woolworths because of the fact that they were segregated in the South.
Wow. Wow, you've been doing this.
And that was when I was about 15 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you've been doing this your whole life.
Absolutely. And it's so exciting to see, all of these, younger people politicized in ways that we haven't seen for decades.
Yeah.
I'm just really fortunate that I'm still here. I never expected to witness a time when there would be such a radical turn, when people would talk about structural racism, when they would raise the question of abolishing prisons and the police. And now it's a part of mainstream public discourse. And so, what that says, and I think younger people should take heed of this. What that means is that even if you don't get credit for the work you're doing, even if you think that you've been working as hard as you have without actually seeing the work bear fruits, don't despair. Because the work will eventually make a difference. If we had not been doing this for all of these decades, it would not be possible to experience what we are experiencing today.
Exactly. That well said. And the young people need to hear that. That is beautifully said, because, devoting your entire life to this, I mean, we owe you so much.
But it's been a really good life, and I've enjoyed doing it. So oftentimes people thank me for all of the sacrifices I've made, and I have to say, I don't feel like I've made any sacrifices. I don't think I could have lived a life that is better than the one that I lived. And,
Amen. Amen.
And there's been a lot of joy and pleasure and music and partying. And I think that activism has to be fun, because if it's not, then people will fall away, and they have to realize that it's about imagination. It's about trying to imagine a new world that is going to be welcoming to all of us. I still really feel happy about, the work that I've done, and I've always done it with other people, never by myself. So I can't claim credit for this.
Well, I mean, we're giving you credit because that is one of the gifts of you being able to bring people together the way that you have been, and imparting the knowledge that you have experienced. And that in itself, for the young people to be able to hear your voice is just, even for us, my old self, listening to you, it's like, it's such a joy. And I'm so excited for the times right now that things are changing and for the better. It's communicating with each other, and it's so important.
But, I always think about the fact that in the final analysis, we want a world where everyone can be happy.
Absolutely.
That is what we want. And we also have to prefigure that world. We have to demonstrate that it is possible to experience joy and pleasure. And we do that along the way.
Absolutely. Well, I know there's so many, I don't know, do you have 9, 10, 12 books out? What do you?
I think 11, and the 12th one is coming out in a few months.
Yes!
But let me say that I always consider the work that I've done as collective work.
Yes.
As, collective ideas. They're not my ideas as an individual. They bear witness to the fact that I've been in struggle with large numbers of people. So I always want to emphasize the community dimension, the collective dimension, even of the writing that I do when I'm sitting at my desk alone or at my computer. It's always the ideas that have come to me from others, and during this period, especially from young people who are taking the knowledges that we generated in the context of past struggles and are pushing really in a direction of change and transformation.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I have a couple more things. This is a shameless plug, but I have to let everybody know that you were on my record. You were on my record.
That's right, I remember.
Iconic. And we did the Pointer Sisters song, Yes We Can. And you wrote in an incredible little piece there inside that song. So I want people to just get this, because to hear Angela Davis on this iconic song, Yes We Can, from the Pointer Sisters, we had a great time doing that. And thank you so much for doing that.
No, I so enjoyed doing it. And the Pointer Sisters are a part of the soundtrack of my life. So
Exactly.
I have to pay tribute to them, as are you, Sheila.
Oh, stop it. No.
It's, and also the fact that we participated in that wonderful demonstration, Brown Folks for Black Lives. You remember at the beginning of the pandemic?
Yes.
And who would have known that it was going to last this long? We thought it was going to be just a couple of months at that time.
No, we're still in this place, but we're thankful that we have some technology that works, like Zoom, and we can have conversations and keep things moving. That's what we have to do. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, this one quick thing we're going to do. This is quick. It is called rapid fire, and I'm going to ask you like 5 things, and you just see.
I'm not good at that. I'm not that good at that, but I'll try.
You're going to be good. I'm going to start it. Well, here we go. This is simple. Here we go. Basketball or football?
Basketball.
Basketball, yes. 49ers or Raiders?
Raiders.
Raiders. Oh, okay.
Raiders.
All right. Oakland or Berkeley?
Well, I said Raiders, so I have to say Oakland.
Exactly. The beach or the mountains?
That's a question I don't think I can answer except by saying 50-50, because I love the mountains. I love hiking in the mountains, but I also love swimming in the ocean.
That's a good answer. And the last one, steak or fish?
I'm vegan, so definitely not steak. I haven't had steak since the 1970s. So I guess I would have to say fish if I need to provide an answer to you.
Wow, that's a long time. Well, congratulations. You made it through.
Okay.
And thank you so much. You're just always been special to our family. We love you so dearly, and we thank you for all the things you always do for us. Bye,
love you too, Sheila.
All right, bye. Hi, everyone. Yay, shoe camp. Da, 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 da. Look at this, my Chucks. That's right, Chucks. Guess where I wore these dope Chucks? With my name on it, of course. I wore these at the inauguration. You know why? Because I was so inspired by Kamala. Bay Area, that's right. She wears her Chucks everywhere. So I had to get my Chucks, and I wore them, and I walked around. I didn't go to the inauguration. I went to the inauguration, but I didn't go there, but I was here. So I walked from the living room to the kitchen, back over to get some food, then walked outside and said, whoo-hoo, I'm representing Kamala. That's right, Chucks, all day long. Shoe cam for today. Wasn't that such an enlightening conversation? Dr. Angela Davis is incredible, and she has blessed so many of us, so inspiring. And I thank you so much, Miss Angela Davis, for doing the show. I really appreciate it. We love you so very much. Thank you. See you all next week. God bless you. Bye. Say bye. Say bye.
Save the planet from the catastrophes of climate change, racism, incarceration, heteropatriarchy, and anti-immigrant violence. If we imagine together, if we fight together, we will win together. Sí, se puede. Yes, we can. We are the ones we have been waiting for.